Hello, Open Door community. Thank you so much for joining me this evening on our Facebook Live lessons. Actually, this lesson I wanted to share with you tonight is about breathing techniques, breathwork techniques, which is probably the most fun and interesting type of exercise that I teach, just because I feel that utilizing breath work is definitely something that you can do anytime, anywhere. I always make the joke that you can, if you're ever feeling stressed or something just kind of feels off for you, say you're in the grocery store or anywhere else, you're not necessarily going to sit down and start meditating there in the middle of the aisle. So I think that having the tools in your tool belt, your back pocket, on how to breathe through moments of dis-ease or when you're just not feeling yourself is a huge help. I actually learned breathing techniques all the way in Mysore, India. So I had to travel across the world to learn them. And it's funny, when I was there with my teacher, it was very strange for me to do these breathwork practices at first, because I had never been told that I didn't know how to breathe, and I had never been taught how to breathe. So when he did start to teach me, it took a while, because I had never really exercised my lungs before, and I had never really linked between the breath and how to utilize the breath and how to regulate my emotions. So before we kind of get started into the lesson, because I really wanted to teach you a couple of techniques that you can use since we are right in the middle of the holiday season, I think this can be a big help for you. So we'll talk a little bit about short-term stress, acute stress, and what that feels like somatically when that comes on, and how we can recognize when stress is coming on before it prolongs itself and we're a couple of days into it and it turns into more of a chronic form of stress. How we can breathe through those bouts of stressful reactions that we usually have. So before I get started, let me introduce myself for those of you who are joining me for the first time. My name is Melanie. I am the founding teacher here at Open Door in downtown Pomona, and I am the principal teacher for meditation, mindfulness, and breath work. I also am the director for the meditation and yoga school here at the studio. So it is my great privilege. I'm actually very excited about doing these Facebook Live lessons, because I know that everybody can make it down here. So I hope that to give this and offer this to you for free and in a way that's very accessible, that you're able to find maybe a couple of techniques that will be very helpful for you. And at the end of the lesson, we're going to be in this for about 15-20 minutes. We're going to go into a live Q&A afterwards. So I'm definitely going to invite you to ask me any questions in regards to breath work or meditation, or how to get started, how to maintain, maybe a book, other studios around you. If I know of any, I definitely will try to be of service to you with any questions that I can answer. So first off, let's talk a little bit about acute stress and short-term stress. And this is really what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And so when you think about acute stress or short-term stress, it really comes from, I would say, our demanding work schedules, our interpersonal relationships, maybe recent past events, and especially the anticipation of future events. So I thought this was the perfect time to talk about the expectation and with future events, since we are in the holiday season. So for some of you, our celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas, and having that expectation of what it's going to be like to not only have to spend a lot of money and work a little extra, but also to maybe be around your family members or people that you're not really used to being around, and how that can be very triggering for you. And also on the flip side of that is maybe not being able to be around your family and your loved ones, and what that feels like. That is also very stressful. And for me, it's funny, for a long time, I would be in the middle of stress and have no idea that I had been in it. I would become very reactive and lethargic and first hypervigilant and then lethargic after that, because I wasn't really aware of the fact that my body would tell me before my emotional mind or my logical part of my mind, the left hemisphere of the brain, would be able to realize what was going on. And what I mean by being able to recognize when you're in a bout of stress is usually you can feel it pretty much right away in your tummy. And for some of you, you know how that feels. It's like either you get those butterflies, or your digestive system shuts down, or it kind of gets very hyperactive. And then also in your chest, what it feels like in your chest starts to feel very heavy. You kind of go into protective mode. And then we talk about what it feels like in our shoulders, neck, and jaw. I like to describe it as carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. We become very tense here. It seems that our shoulders lift to our ears all day. And also too, we become very hypervigilant with our tone of voice and our speaking patterns, with our hand movements. Sounds become louder, eyesight becomes very rapid, and we're kind of looking around, because what has happened is when we're in that bout of stress is that our adrenal gland has released the stress hormones, which is cortisol and adrenaline. So we're in it, and our sympathetic nervous system has really taken over. And what we can do to kind of ease and relax that, because you'll notice the first thing that you do is you try to talk yourself out of it. I think that you all know what I'm talking about that. It's, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, it's gonna be okay. Oh, you're overreacting. But just to let you know that the right side of your brain, which is our emotional side, which is where the stress is coming from, or the triggering or the dis-ease, our left hemisphere is the logical side, which is the part of the brain that is trying to talk to the right side. But our right hemisphere, which is our emotional side, does not understand language. So the fact that you're sitting there trying to talk yourself out of being stressed out or in reactive mode 100% is not working. It can, if you're using a soothing voice, can be very helpful. But the only thing that the right hemisphere of our brain really understands is somatics, and really understands if our body is relaxed, then everything is okay. We can kind of calm down. And the way that we can start to relax our body is we really want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, because we want to come back into equilibrium, and we also want to get into that dose of rest and digest, and everything is okay, we can calm down. And the best way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system is to lengthen and regulate our breath. So the big question is, how do you lengthen and regulate your breath? The first thing you would want to do is you would want to start to inhale and exhale through your nose. This is going to allow you to lengthen it. This is going to bring a warmer temperature to your body. You're going to have a little bit more control. Your parasympathetic nervous system is going to be activated much quicker than it would be if you're inhaling and exhaling through your mouth. Now, an extra step that we want to take when we start to go into nasal breathing is we want to start to contract or constrict our larynx, our voice box. So this is going to also create a very soothing sound, which is very nice for us. I always say it's like listening to a big seashell. or being at the ocean, but this is really going to allow you to lengthen your breath. Now on your inhale, you don't want to be forceful with it. You don't want to try to lengthen it too much to where you're feeling hurt in your chest or pressure in your chest. It's where you really want to start to take control of is with your exhale. This is where the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. It is with the exhale. So I'd like us to take a couple of moments and do a couple of breaths together. The reason why I want to start with this breath work is because you can do it anytime, anywhere, even if you're having a conversation with somebody, if you're driving in traffic in LA, if you are in the middle of the mall in December, you can stop and do this breath work, and you'll notice right away you start to calm down a little bit. So let's just begin by sitting up straight and tall. Shoulders come back, chest is open, but you don't want to be rigid in any way. Now when we're inhaling and exhaling through our nose, make sure that you're keeping the jaw relaxed and also the neck relaxed. And the way that we can do this is keep our jaw inwardly separated. So I usually take the tip of my tongue and rest it in between my teeth, or you can take the tip of your tongue and move it up to the top of your mouth. So just begin to pay attention to your inhale and exhale before you start to regulate it. And you'll notice just by paying attention to it that it automatically starts to slow down and become a little bit more steady. So let's begin. So just take a couple more of those breaths and see if you can listen to the sound it's creating. See if you can note how it feels. What is the temperature of the inhale? What is the temperature of the exhale? One more round. And then come back to your natural breath, still inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And I want you to take note of how you feel right now. Is your body relaxed? Are you a little more concentrated? And now that we've done that first exercise, we're going to move into our second exercise. So we're going to inhale for a count of 4, and then we're going to hold it for a count of 7. Then we're going to exhale through our mouth, pierced lips, for a count of 8. Now we're only going to do 3 rounds of this, but this is a very, very relaxing breath. For those of you who suffer from insomnia, this is a great breath work to do at night before you go to bed, because I know that when we are dealing with stress, especially chronic stress, that is definitely one of the side effects, is having problems sleeping or waking up throughout the night. So this is a really wonderful breath work to do when you're not able to sleep. So I'm going to count you off, but before I start, let's go ahead and begin to inhale and exhale through our nose again. And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through pierced lips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close your mouth. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through pierced lips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And come back to your natural breath. Eyes are closed. And just take note of how your body feels right now. Now begin to regulate your breath once more, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And you may notice that your exhale has become longer. Just after exercising for a moment or two, inhale through your nose, and then really slow it down and control it on the exhale. Two more rounds. And then bringing your palms together, rubbing them together. Place them over your eyes. Inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Palms together, rubbing them together. Place them over your eyes. Inhale. Let it go. And relax. So what's so wonderful about doing these type of practices, and the fact that you can do them right in the middle of a conversation or anywhere and nobody really knows what you're doing, is that you'll start to notice that people mirror you. We call them mirroring neurons, where they kind of take on your emotional state. So if someone seems to be stressed out, we all know what that looks like because we all know what that feels like. If they are hypervigilant and just really out of sorts, if you can start to contract and slow down your breath and start to lengthen it, you'll notice that people that are around you, especially those that are in states of dis-ease, will start to join you. So not only is this helpful for yourself, but we talk about ripple effect here, that you can help maybe somebody else who's having moments of discomfort. So thank you so much for this lesson and for joining me. I would now like to open up the floor for any questions you might have for me in regards to the practices. I'm wondering if all of you understood what that meant to contract or constrict your larynx, your voice box, and what that felt like. Any questions you have at all, I'm really open to answering. Breath work has been such a huge practice for me. It is my number one to go to when I'm feeling out of sorts or when I have moments and bouts of stress, which I do. I am human. We all do. This is not a practice to bypass those states, but a practice to help ease us and walk us through it. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to open it up. So if anybody has any questions, I can read it down here. So I see we have Ann on there, Penny, Carrie, Kelly, Christy is here, Gina is here. How do you do the voice box noise? Yes, Kelly, that's what everybody has a hard time kind of getting that. If you open up your mouth and inhale and exhale through the back of your throat, think of it, or you can compare it to the Darth Vader voice. It's like, so you're really inhaling and exhaling through the back of your throat. I almost feel like I can hear it in my ears more when I'm doing that, or feel it in my ears more. So if you try that, open up your mouth first, see what that feels like. I call it open up your mouth as big as an apple. You can bring your arms out, open, and then exhale, bring your arms back together, and then close your mouth and do that same type of breath through your nose, still contracting and constricting here and really breathing in through the back of your throat. I hope that's helpful. I know it's really tough to kind of hear that sound, but once you get it, it's like second nature, and I promise you, you will be breathing like that for the rest of your life. How can I learn more on breath work? Any book recommendations? I do have one. It's called The Breathing Book. What is the name on that one? Sorry. I'll just show it to you. So this is a really great beginner's guide for breathing. Also, Iyengar, BKS Iyengar has a light on pranayama, which is a little bit more extensive. And then I teach a breathwork class every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. and that's all we focus on. So I would tell you, if you're not in the area where you could come and see me, Google and see if you can find any teachers in your area that teach breathwork, because it's a really great idea to be a community and also with a teacher that can help you guide you through it. Oh, RSU is on there. Do essential oils assist in breath work at all? Is that open door to yoga? I just so happen to be here. That's funny. Must be Carmen. Or one of the other girls. All of the teachers are allowed use open door to yoga as well. So do essential oils assist in breath work at all? I use peppermint oil. It's incredible. I love it. Also, lavender oil is very good, but if you're going to use any oils, make sure you're not touching your face with it, especially the peppermint oil. You will scream, you will cry, it does burn, and you will be very mad at me if you do that. So you just take a couple of drops on the palm of your hands, rub your palms together, and then bring your palms about right to here. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. It's really good, especially since we're hitting flu season. It'll open everything up for you and wake you up too. It's really nice. Can I come in and purchase the book? What are your hours? Yes, actually it is for sale. It is my last one. The teacher trainers, this is part of their readings that they have to do. We're open tomorrow, I believe, and Sunday is probably the best time to come in for the Dharma talk, and then we'll be here at 12 o'clock. So, or just kind of give us a call when we're in session. The front door is closed due to privacy issues for our students. Good question though, Anita. Thank you. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you so much. We're going to be doing another live lesson probably in the next couple of weeks, around probably before or right after Christmas, so that we can be of assistance for you. I'm hoping to bring the other teachers from Open Door in to do lessons as well. And I appreciate you all so much. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Thank you.